Alright everyone, we are back with Bracket H of the AirMech Rumble number 2 2v2 tournament. Our players on the left side it is actually Team Wugyman. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It's in all caps. It is DaxterDK and Wugyman in a striker and a Neo.
It's more of a yeah, man. And on the right side, we've got Stuart98 and ShadowUltima, Team Rusty Council.
Rusty Council, because they are both in Council, but they are not very active right now. They just get to make decisions based on feels. So Wugyman going, oh my god, with bear traps at the beginning.
Bear trap to
what
block
the
that
heck?
outpost.
Oh man, that is cool.
Lock down their creeps and deny that initial outpost.
I'm not exactly sure the most efficient way to remove them. Stuart in a Helix, Shadow in a Helix as well. So, I mean, they need healing units.
Oh, and Stuart and Shadow going immediately for that harass. It's going to be a brawl for this top outpost.
Ah, but they cannot take it. Red team keeps it away from Blue's control, and they're probably going to be able to take it back under the control.
3 Dillos.
3 Dillos going down, and Shadow and Stuart forced to pull back. Great play by Woogie and Daxter. Great reaction time.
Absolutely, and once again, like all mines, those bear traps have gone stealth, and one of them does capture a creep. It's gonna delay Stuart's capture of that top outpost even further.
I was not aware that bear traps are also invisible. This is very creative play by Daxter and Wugyman.
I love it.
Damn, that's crazy. So Daxter and Wugyman are actually significantly ahead of the Rusty Council, appropriately named it seems.
All 3 of their outposts before the Rusty Council takes a single.
Which is insane. Daxter finishing off the last neutral on their side, and Council is really far behind at this point. They are way thrown off, both by the bear traps and the failed cheese. Daxter doing a quick scout and harass, and wow, this is crazy.
And Council does finally take a single outpost, but there's already a very significant unit buildup on the Wugyman side.
Stuart trying to harass, but to no avail. There are way too many units over here for him to do anything.
40 to 20.
40 to 20. 42 to 21 now.
Overwhelming upkeep difference this early into the game.
Council finally...
Shadow still struggled to take their 3rd outpost.
Yeah, finally knocking down the brutes there, but they're way behind, and red team already going for a butcher neutralization on the top right corner, and Wugyman, Wugyman leapfrogging tanks. Daxter getting finished off in the retreat, but keeps Council away from that top right outpost long enough, I think. It does go down to neutral.
It is neutral.
Wow.
Wugyman has quite a few tanks. Stuart's low, and he's not going to be able to stop them just yet, as Wugyman does drop Sams. Impressive
play by the red team, taking the blue team's top right outpost. Units coming in for the blue team, so they'll probably be able to neutralize it, but 39 to 24, the Council is too far behind, I think, right now, to make a reasonable comeback.
And we will see if they wipe out this whole cluster without taking that many losses themselves. They could actually get themselves back into a pretty favorable position. As you can see, the upkeep gap has shrunk to just 10.
Red team pulling back just a little bit, but they do definitely have Council on the ropes. The Bears traps are still down, preventing the Council from taking that top right outpost back pretty easily.
They're finally going to get it, though.
Yeah, they are, but it's a hit to your economy. So that it reduces your income. As long as you don't have that outpost under your control. And Wugyman again with a Sam drop, gonna get a neutralization again.
DaxterDK does go down.
DaxterDK does go down, but if Wugyman can get this neutralization, I think it's worth it. Oh,
and that's a double kill.
And
he does not live. Very close.
We almost had a complete team wipe on the red side.
Fortunately, this early in the game, those respawn timers are fairly low, and they're going to be back in the action before the Helix duo can make any significant headway.
It does look like Stuart here harassing with 2 Longhorn and his mech, neutralizing the outpost. What will be able to get killed? Daxter going to try to sword down these Longhorn. Will Stuart be able to get out of this? He's really low on health. Very low, and Stuart levels up, and he is going to be able to get himself out of there.
And here come brutes for the capture. Those are going to be very tough to dislodge, especially with tank support.
No stasis going down by Wugyman. Wugyman gets finished off as well. The tides have turned 40 to 28. The Council is catching up. They have been able to take that bottom left outpost. What is Wugyman gonna do about this?
And YEEEE does have a decent little cluster up at their top forward outpost and their top rear outpost. They need to start utilizing those units effectively if they want to gain control of this game once again.
ShadowUltima and Stewart trying to fend off this Dillo drop on the bottom right here. Daxter, though, overextending, getting himself killed. The neutralization did happen, but I don't think the red team's going to be able to capitalize on it at all.
That's right, they're going to lose a Brute and 3 Armadillos unless they do something quickly, like stealth in with 4 Sams
and capture the outpost. So what do they have in queue? That's the question. Not very much. Will they be able to hold this? They need to start infantry spamming and heavy unit spamming. One guy does one guy does the other. I think is probably the best choice. Stewart going down.
Stewart goes down. Wugyman making an excellent use of that Q to stay alive.
This is a crazy, crazy map split right now. Red has the blue side bottom outpost, and the opposite is for the blue team on the left side. Daxter probably going to be able to hold this outpost, but the blue team has the bottom left as well. 47-36. Whoa, I am impressed.
That's right, though. That blue team force is getting low as those creeps come in, just tickling away at it. Shadow is here to heal those units up and try and get them back in, but Wugyman has responded with Dillos.
And pulling back a little bit, the harass really didn't get them anywhere, but now doing a couple of fort drops. Ooh, I like this play by Wugyman.
That's right, and that's the thing, those Dillos, they're so cheap that if you just stealth them in, that neo-stealth while carrying units is so much more efficient than it used to be, is going to allow him to pretty much drop as many of those very cheap, very expendable Dillos as he wants. Well, there's still a bear trap on the fort.
But eventually it will force the blue team to start protecting their fort.
That's
and
right.
basically,
well, look at all of these Dillos and look how low Stewart is, almost dying there.
And they're at about, a third of their health has been taken off. And okay, Lunchbox going down by the blue team. They actually had that in their loadout, so that's very fortunate for them. Daxter trying to finish off whatever he can on the bottom left. And
he's cleared out everything except the Brutes that are actually occupying the outpost.
So
this Shadow is here with reinforcing Brutes.
This game is madness. This game is wild. Tanks being pushed in by the blue team to take back their bottom right. It's still well surrounded by red units though, and they are constantly reinforcing it from that top left outpost.
And Daxter did escape there with just a sliver of health. Those Sams are just standing there. They need to get into the outpost as soon as possible as blue team does retake it.
I do think they are going to be able to maintain control of this. Red team needs to take back their bottom left. It is very heavy with Brutes right now, and that is very, very strong. 26-54, so the Council has turned this around very steadily, and Wugyman barely gets out of there.
Daxter making a valiant effort to bring down those Brutes, but that Brute play is just coming in so strong. The time to kill on each Brute, if you're just fighting it with your mech, is significantly lower than the time it's going to take ShadowUltima to build more of them and reinforce. So unless they come in with a pretty significant push, that outpost is going to remain under blue team control.
Yeah, and it's going to be really hard for them to take. I don't think red team took Brutes at all. Might want to consider that in the future, guys, but this is shaping up to be one of the best games so far. ShadowUltima neutralizing that top left outpost, methodically, taking down this red team. And they are way behind.
It's really looking like blue is on the ropes now. Or not blue is on the ropes, red is on the ropes. Just one outpost with any sort of decent unit presence on it, plus whatever they've got on that.
And Stewart already working on mid. They haven't been able to take it. One Goliath is still left, but that's going to be gone pretty soon because they have quite a lot of tanks in that area. Daxter and Wugyman grasping at straw, trying to figure out what they can do. The Lunchbox will be taken down. Maybe they do want to try to do some stealth Neo Dillo drops.
That's right, because it seems to me like the game started to turn around.
It
More
did.
or less. When they did that initial drop, invested so many units, they did get a good chunk of health, but they paid with presence across the rest of the map.
I think it was either one of two things, overinvestment or lack of follow through. They might have wanted to keep going and keep the pressure on. They might not have lost that bottom right outpost.
That's very
It's a
true,
possibility.
But at this point, it's not looking too good for the blue team or for the red team, I keep mixing that up. As now Stewart neutralizes the top left while Shadow neutralizes that middle left, and we could be looking at a domination situation
We
here very
could
shortly.
be. I think the blue team is probably going to start putting pressure on the fort, is what I'm thinking. It's 60. They have 60 units spread out on the map pretty evenly, and they are actually starting to go with the Dillo drops. Wugyman gets finished off, but a little bit more health gets ticked down on the blue team's side. So Daxter repositioning, but they are now being dominated. Need to do something about that.
And not only are they being dominated, but there are lunchboxes on every corner of that fort. Stewart really doesn't want them to get sniped out.
That is
and
hilarious.
in addition to that, 2 defensive Goliaths. That is going to be very difficult to overcome as the Goliaths do start to push out.
But Wugyman does realize the danger and almost being dominated, neutralizing that top left outpost. That's their only hope left. I think the only hope that I see is those Dillo drops on the fort because of how far ahead the blue team is. That Neo Cloak has been ultra buffed recently, so they might be, well, indirectly ultra buffed because of the carry. So they might have a chance here.
That's true. However, Daxter's gonna die. And with 2 Goliaths on the fort, it's gonna be difficult for Wugyman to get away long enough. As he's dropping some boomers, trying to let them have enough time to blow up, but unfortunately missiles are there to shut them down.
And at this point, it does look like the blue team is pushing in with everything they got. They can sense the end is coming, and Wugyman and DaxterDK just desperately trying to block as much as they possibly can. Boomers coming out by Wugyman.
They're not gonna live for very long though, and neither is Wugyman. Daxter also falling in short order. With all of those tanks coming in on the base, I think that's all she wrote.
Great play by the red team. I really, really loved their opening. Bear traps, super creative, lots of butcher play, but ShadowUltima and Stewart98's experience does seem to be the deciding factor in this game, and that is it, guys. Rusty Council taking Bracket H over Team YEEEE. Wow, great, awesome game. I'm hoping to all you players out there for the rest of the tournament, that is what you got to match up to. That was some great play. So we are going to go ahead and start the round of 8 pretty soon with Bracket I.
Absolutely, and dare I say the MVP of that round, Brutes.
Brutes, exactly. All right, guys, stay tuned.
That's not something you would have thought to hear.
Yeah, exactly. A couple patches back, but things have changed. AirMech evolves like crazy. You got to keep up. All right, guys. Bracket H finished. Bracket I coming up.